Yeah, we just think that it's easier.
Yeah, it takes more time.
All right, so let's,
Actually, it helped
let's start, right?
Yeah, let's
No, we'll just explain if anyone's watching, they'll see everything. Okay, so let's start at 7:36, call to order.
We don't have to call the roll, do we? I mean, we have Robert Noguera, Robert Shields, Don, Mark, and Ann, and myself. So approval of the minutes, I sent you guys all the minutes ahead of time.
It was from the B unit proxy vote meeting, and what was the other one?
And the other one was,
That was a long, long meeting. That was with the flooring, and that was the marathon meeting.
No, that was forever.
we had,
We'll
we
never
also,
do that
we
again.
also did the special assessment on that day, so. You guys had a chance to read them, everything was fine?
I saw it in front to me. All right, so
So can you just make a motion to approve those two?
Yeah. I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Don.
All right.
Okay, all in favor?
Yeah.
Favor.
Anybody against?
No.
Okay.
But I do ask that from now on we get the minutes within a week of the meeting.
For sure.
To be noted.
I'm pretty good at that.
Well, it
That
makes
one was
sense,
long.
because that's when it's fresh in your mind.
Yeah, when did you write it after? You watched the video?
Yeah,
exactly.
I do usually right after.
That's the best thing to do. Just make notes as you go if you can.
So if we could get that within a week, it would be nice.
All right. Do you have to do a management report? Or you're
If you want to, or we can move forward.
yeah, I mean, anything different from what we see every week?
I can just mention that we're still operating on the budget.
Might as well go to the camera.
Let me just put it up. Let me just put it up here really quick. So
That's good.
We have Andre and Frank in the audience, ladies and gentlemen.
Is
Standing
it
room
public
only.
that he's?
What? These? I don't know. You got to ask him.
the management report.
No,
No.
is it public that
The water?
you mean?
Yeah, it's pretty much public.
Really? I never got that either.
It's just like word of mouth.
You gotta read the.
So now people will know more if we discuss it more.
I just don't want to send an email yet because I don't have a date. I know it's gonna be by the end of the month, but it
And he
could be
doesn't have a replacement, so.
another replacement. So we are operating under budget, $13,000, and just a quick
What's
note.
that big red thing going up there?
That was for repairs and maintenance. I'm sorry, water and utilities.
I was just gonna say, I thought that was I guess that's for all the emptying of doing the chiller stuff. Refilling it.
That was back in April. And now we're back to June, and it's getting to what it should be during this time of the year.
All right. So a little over budget. I'm sure we'll keep that up. Always never stays.
Let's build that up. So on the next agenda item, do you have any questions about the monthly report? I think I sent that to you guys like
Yeah.
2-3
Yeah, I
weeks
see
ago.
it. I seen it. Yeah, unless there's something else other than you
No.
want to mention.
No, I do have a couple of recommendations, but that would come up in the next monthly report. And it's basically that we need to do some repaving on that parking lot down there.
Oh, that's right, you told me about it. Okay.
And I would love to be able to repaint all the parking lines in the garage and put a little paint on
Okay.
that, so.
When repainting, can we write compact only on the line, and you know, the
Yeah.
things that make it.
The other thing that Frank had mentioned is that we should put numbers on the parking spots because it's easier.
To identify cars, yes.
Hey, there's somebody on parking spot 10 that has no parking spot. It's easier to do that. So I'm gonna put that on my
But
recommendation.
those
I like it.
parking spots to be outside where people with giant cars like was done this weekend again. I'm sick of it. Park a freaking compact car
Well,
there.
you know, on the outskirts where you're kind of parking in the middle of the drive through, can we make it where you're parked there now?
Yeah.
What I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
Dawn should be parked there.
But no, what I'm
That
saying is,
car is
what
actually-
I wanna say though is maybe they should just be, when the garage is full, people
Overflow.
park there.
Yeah,
I mean, I get it, rather than not park at all, you park there, but use the other parking
but there's a
spaces, so
certain
it doesn't
person
impede
who
people
does
going
it
around, I'm sorry.
constantly with massive
But I wanted you to know what I'm
fashion cars and it,
You're talking about 5A?
And
Yeah.
everybody complains, people come to me and complain, because a lot of older people
Bobby.
can't drive so well, you know.
You're talking about on the side?
No, in
they-
the garage, like the overflow parking spots.
The
They
ones that
park
face
their
perpendicular, the ones you're talking about.
Yeah.
They drive, they put their giant cars there, and it
I
just.
mean, you gotta make every attempt to not use those spots unless you're a tiny car.
Well, it's, unless the lot's full, then everybody has to just make do.
Right.
You have to make a 16-point turn.
Well, yeah, it has to
Back
be.
out,
Do you
no.
know I couldn't.
The other way, you just back in to those spots.
Do
You
you
know where
know
you
today
usually
I
park?
made that mistake, I
It's right
couldn't leave, I
outside
had to
there.
go back
There's
upstairs.
a Mercedes there.
I always know, that's why I park on an angle, so I can
But we
back
need
out.
to ask, please do not park here unless, I think that's a great
Well,
idea.
we'll put it on there last.
We can get, when we line it, you can say that
Yeah.
your car must fit in the lines like Las Olas,
Yeah.
parking does.
Mhm.
So if your car sits outside those yellow lines, that's when you get a ticket.
Oh, you get
ticket,
to,
but you know
let's
you
tow
get
them, let's tow.
Can I make a suggestion? I don't know if there's anybody who does it, but I know in the past, let's say people go away for a couple months, then they come back. You have a tendency to take some of the better parking spots.
Can we have
You
a
know,
section?
I don't know how you stop that or.
I don't know what better is, what's better.
Well, the larger ones.
The larger ones, like the
Another thing they
handicap
do
spots.
is-
It's kind of a first come, first served thing,
Yeah,
I
but there's
guess.
a guy who
No, I
did it,
totally agree on that, but
Well, no, there's like, I've seen, you know, like where I
They
park, I
smart,
usually
they do it
need a
too.
big parking.
You know, it's good to be courteous and take your car and put it somewhere when you're not gonna be. When I was on
Thank you.
vacation, that's what I did, and I put it where you crashed the ductwork on top of the car, remember, and scratched it all
So
up?
that
Yeah,
picture.
so no good deed goes
okay,
unpunished.
but since there's a white car right now,
That's a big
he's
spot
parked
too.
in the center, two
You broke
spots,
my
but
heart.
not only is he parked in the center, he's parked so far away from the wall that his backside is sticking out.
All right, well, that's
So
a
if
phone
you
call
wanna
that security
maneuver
can make.
in, you can't maneuver in, oh God, be a little courteous, he's gone
Alright.
away for however
Well, when we
long.
line them and number them, we'll deal with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, but that's something we should definitely do, and
Lot of-
again, we're talking like not use the paint, use the stuff they use on the roadway, I guess it's like a heated,
Plastic.
Yeah, so
whatever the material is, it's staying much longer
Great.
and straight.
So
It'll be
that's
straight
the
lines.
reason why I don't want the staff doing it, because we don't have the resources to do that.
That's fine, so, yeah, that's, we'll worry about that after.
Some warranty. So I wanna call Nick Trialo to give us an update on what's going on with the hallway painting and the carpeting, so let me just put that in.
If not, while you do that, we can go to the next, if you want to, or, what you said you
He,
called.
yeah, he should be available.
I question whether or not we need to replace all the fixtures in the first place.
No, he doesn't, I don't think.
There's like, let's see if we can put in LED.
Did we get our last chiller painting?
Like I said, I don't even know.
Yes.
Personally.
I have it in the.
I think I'm not
Hey Nick,
Hey, Walter, how are you?
good, good, you ready for us?
Yeah, I'm pushing
No,
my
it wasn't.
Oh, sorry about that.
No, I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
We'll take for like 5-10 minutes of your time.
No, I'm just kidding.
So guys, if you don't mind, I have
Yes, Nick,
I have Nick on the phone.
You guys.
I have Nick on the phone, and I just want him to give us an update on what's going on with the painting and the carpeting. So go ahead, Nick. Just give us a quick overview of what's going on with that project.
Sure, I guess basically, you know, we got what I thought was a good quote for painting, what I think is a good quote for carpeting. There's 2 or 3 different levels in the carpeting pricing. Some of it is based on the ounce weight, and some of it does or does not have a 10-year warranty. So as we get further into the selections, I'll let you guys know. But I think we should, you know, I don't know. I struggle with, you know, because there's a big price differential, and obviously Lexmark is a good manufacturer, but there's definitely a big price markup on what they will warranty and what they won't. There's a 32 ounce and then like a 38 ounce, and there's a difference in the weight of the carpet, but it's just a lot of a lot of stuff that's technical, but we can go over it in general. I picked 3 different tiers so that we could look at 3 different prices, 2 different installers, and painting that Walter already has an estimate on, and I think he was going to look for maybe 1 or 2 others, or look at the one I brought to the table against the other 2 that he might have already had. So lighting really was one of the bigger things for the hallways, because they're so dark that you can almost put, Frank, Sean, Rob, and we went through probably 20 plus samples of carpeting at least. And because the hallways are so dark, you can almost really pick anything, and it all just looks muddy and kind of the same. So I know probably it looks bright when you look at the lights we had looked at and had installed. I think a couple things though, just for me professionally, I know when you look at them against other ones that are there, they're so different and I think our eyes have gotten so used to such a low, sort of a low lumen and a low color of light in there, on top of the fact that there's so few lights per floor. There's something like 20 plus feet almost per light per sconce. So there's really no way to correctly light these hallways because of the distance in them. They were just really not done appropriately, and obviously there's not money in the budget to increase that. And now I'm not suggesting or looking. I don't think any of us on this committee are looking to do that.
No,
We're really
you
just
have
trying
a
to
set
say
budget. You have a
if
set
we're
amount.
if we're spending money on painting, we're spending money on carpeting, and we're spending money on lighting, we need to try and spread that light out from a latitude, from let's say a right to left or a east to west standpoint, between all of those residence doors. And it's a tough task when you look at price point and what we're trying not to spend and keep things generally at a low cost, but still be effective in what we're doing. It's not just about changing the look of the fixture. It's really what we're trying to do is spread the light out between the residence doors so that it has a brighter, just a more appealing look. I think everybody's gotten so, folks who live there longer than I have, Frank, Robin, Sean, and a lot of people just feel like that we've gotten so used to this now that we don't really understand how poorly it is lit. So that's basically where we're at, and we also picked some smaller, inexpensive finishes for each floor. Maybe a new mirror, a new bench, things like that for the hotel. For the elevator area when you first step off the elevator. That sort of little alcove on each floor. So the idea was really to try and make it a little bit more boutique looking and a little bit more special, so that the price per units, particularly in the B stacks that are selling so high, that the interior really matches the exterior, where the building is, what the aesthetic of the building will be in the next couple of years when we're going through the 40 year, so that we're really not just wasting money and replacing carpet and just sort of willy-nilly spending money. We're really trying to look at it more holistically. So that's sort of where we are right now. And I know everybody has opinions on everything, which is great, and we're all open to everything. But that's sort of just where we are right now. We're trying to maybe get something on the floor that's a little bit brighter, maybe a little bit lighter, has a little bit more color in it, but we want to be cognizant of the fact that there are pets in the building. There's a high percentage of renters. There's a lot of traffic coming off, the laundry rooms that tends to carry dirt from the service elevator in through the laundry room and then into the residence hall there where the laundry room doors open up and things like that. So there's a multitude of things that we're trying to address with just sort of sprucing the place up.
Nick, I have a question on the lights.
Yeah.
Those lights, I know they're LED light fixtures. Are they like the light bulbs? Are they replaceable, or if the LEDs go bad, do we have to replace the whole fixture?
I think I don't know that they're replaceable. They're a 15 to a 20-year replacement is what the manufacturer says on those. And again, I'm not married at all to that style, the brightness or anything. But when you look at the distance between those J boxes in the wall, that are 15, 12, 18, 20 feet between each sconce, what you really need to do is spread that light out, whether you're going north to south on the corridor, that goes north to south, or whether you're trying to spread it out on the corridor going east to west. The issue is that the lights really don't spread between the residence doors. And rather than have them sort of going up onto the ceiling a little bit, which they sort of ineffectively do now with dimmer bulbs, the committee's thought was that let's try and pick fixtures that will sort of spread that light out laterally, you know, from side to side. And so based on, you know, price point and things like that, you know, we're trying to keep things around $80 or $90 a light. You know, basically something similar to what's there is what we felt, you know, would be best. Something that's not uplighting and downlighting, but something that's lighting left to right. If
Yeah,
you're
no,
more horizontal.
I like it. I thought it looked good and it was definitely brighter.
Like, I loved it.
Well, it's good for down the end, you know,
Yeah,
like,
it's-
when you
it's
get off
like
the
you're in
elevators,
a
it's funny,
tunnel,
you got all these
right?
lights,
Because you got the
right?
sconces on the wall,
Yeah.
right?
Well, there's
Yeah.
two right there, and then there's one in the little A hallway, which is, you know.
My end of the
there's-
corridor is like a tunnel to walk.
Yeah,
down.
it is.
It's dark.
So when would we get to see samples and stuff like that, besides the lights?
So we have probably 4 different samples that Sean and I and also Rob gave his input and Frank gave his input. 1 or 2 of the members, Cliff and one other member were out for a little bit, but I think we have 4 that we feel pretty good about. And, you know, again, between us 4 or 5 folks, we all have our individual opinions, not just likes and dislikes, but what we think would work best for the overall usage of the carpet and the overall project that we're looking at. We're not only just replacing carpet, we're trying to change the overall aesthetic and feel a little bit of the building, you know, so it's a little bit more beach appropriate. It's not quite so heavy and dark, and you know the north to south hallway obviously gets the benefit of that little 12 to 12 window on the fire door. You know, the east to west hallways, which I think may be a little bit longer, get none of that. They're just dark, you know. So we're really trying to answer a lot of that. So we probably have 4 or 5 different carpet samples, and I put together 3 or 4 different sort of paint schematics for each of those carpets. So that's pretty much where we are now. We're just, you know, ready to put it all together and show you guys if in fact some of the stuff we put up, like lighting and other things like that, seems like it'll work. Because the catch-22 is if we don't address the light issue first, carpets will look very different in different lights. So I don't want to start showing you guys carpets, because if we're going to go with different lighting scenario necessarily, they're going to look, you know, they'll look different. Some will look muddy, you know what I mean? So
Okay, who is for the light? Nick, why
you know,
don't we
that's
just agree on the lights right now, so that we can move you forward?
But he wants to show us more samples.
3 or 4
You have more light samples, or
I
is
want to
that?
see them all, yeah.
I'd like to see more.
I have
like the
2
look of
others
them.
that I don't think are quite as effective. I think aesthetically they're as nice, you
He
know, but I
said he
just
has
don't
others
think they
that
really
don't give
do
the, are you hearing what he's saying,
any
Robert?
justice to the length of each of those hallways and the distance between the
Aesthetically better
residence
looking,
doors.
but don't give off
He
much
said
light.
he has others that look better, but they don't give off the light.
Nick,
I'd like to see all
Nick,
of them.
can we,
You have to purchase each one each time, huh?
can we,
He said he wanted to put together a package that shows 4
Yeah.
different carpets,
No,
4
no
different
problem.
lights,
Do you think
4
it's-
different
He
whatever.
wants to do the lights
That's what I
first,
wanna
that's
see.
what.
Nick, do you think
Well,
it's
that's fine.
easy to get maybe a couple samples that we can put in the hallways to show people?
Different light styles?
Or
Yeah.
like the other 2 choices that you have?
Sure, yeah, I can go ahead and order those,
I
yeah,
wanna be
sure.
Good.
Yeah, so let's do that. If you can get your samples together with the group,
And then Nick, that way we can tell you.
Then we can all look at it.
let's go ahead with the next stage.
within its environment.
One of
There's
each type up on the fourth corner.
And that's what he's gonna do, that's what
And
he's gonna
something
do.
maybe that's
Perfect,
not
Robert.
quite as bright near the elevator, where when you're stepping off the elevator, it's sort of, you know, 6 feet right smack in front of you. The perspective of looking down these longer hallways is very different than when you step off an elevator and
Yeah.
you're looking smack into, you know, the face of a light fixture. So there's certainly a possibility of doing something slightly different on the elevator wall versus the actual hallways too.
All right, Ray, you had a question?
Yeah, Nick, this is Ray Alvarado from 9C. Just a general question. I understand that tiles are out of, you know, for whatever, you're not gonna put tiles. But my question is, on the carpet, just a suggestion, carpet tiles. Whereas an example, if you go in front of the the elevators and trash rooms, if that gets very dirty, you can just replace that section of tile. I don't know if that was ever
He was
considered.
suggesting a runner there, actually, he was talking to me about.
Well, runner's good,
He said,
but-
why not put a runner?
And
or
the other thing is with
something
Runner-
there?
tiles, no matter what tiles you get, if it's in a different dye lot, it'll never match. That's one of the things that everyone was saying with the carpet
All
tiles.
right, here, so just a couple things professionally. I've done
Yeah, go ahead.
condos and I've done, you know, small boutique hotels with tiles, and they're fine. you have to understand though that you have to sort of overbuy at the time you're doing the job, because if you wait 2 years from now, to your point, Mark, that you're going to replace these down the line, they're not going to really match exactly. The other fact is they're just a lot more expensive than rollout carpet, for sure. And that being said, we also I talked to Ann about some, maybe some band-aids for the laundry rooms. I think the laundry rooms are like the worst caper, because people get out of those service elevators and then they step into the laundry room. I know on our floor, 4 or 5, there tends to be a lot of overflow. People stuff the laundry, the washing machines. There tends to be some water on the floor. So now you're getting out of the service elevator. You might be stepping on a damp tile, and now you're stepping on carpet. So it's just compounding that, because of the laundry room and maybe the cleaning products in there as well, and then stepping onto a carpet. So, what I had said to Walter and Ann was, we probably want to invest in maybe some runners, some mat runners like we have by the service elevators in the back exit on the west side.
Okay.
Is some runners that go directly from the elevator directly to that entrance door into the hallway where the carpet starts, so that when you're coming out of that service elevator, even if that is a damp floor or a slightly dirty floor, at least you're not going to drag it onto new carpet.
Okay.
That's a great idea, but the only problem with runner is, I know I'm getting older, my stepson is graceful is not the marine I used to be. Those runners, you can actually trip and fall and hurt yourself.
But not if they're affixed. You can
We
do
can
a
affix,
double-sided Velcro to hold it down.
Yeah, they won't move.
okay.
Like
you
in
do
the
that,
car,
yeah.
now cars.
And what did we do about I know we spoke about the landings for the elevator, whether it was a solid or just a border around it. Are you pursuing that?
Yeah, I think it depends honestly on the carpet that's chosen. One of the members on the committee is leaning towards something darker to not show stain, which obviously it's a very obvious choice. But again, I keep going back to not only just replacing the carpet, but really trying to give the whole building a facelift in anticipation of the 40-year and all the money that's probably going to be outlaid in that. That just generally with the aesthetic of the building change outside, whether it be stucco painting, rail work, glass, whatever that's going to be on the outside, we're trying to have the foresight to also look and say, let's just not replace something dark with something dark just so it's not going to show a stain again, because we have the whole lighting issue in the hallway. So, we did talk about there's definitely a possibility of putting something solid near the laundry doors and near the elevator doors, in fact, if that's the case. So, yeah, that's
Yeah, both dual purpose, meaning aesthetically and also, for dirt and things like that. Both reasons. But,
You can replace that little section.
Okay.
But let them figure.
Yeah, so, all right, so you got everything under control. I guess it's at this point, we just got to see samples and we'll move ahead with it.
Yeah, and then, like I say, it's just for me and for the group, I think we're thinking, let's make a decision on how well or not we're going to light the hallways, and then let's pick a carpet accordingly, because if the hallways are better lit, the color dynamic in the carpet doesn't have to be so extreme. If we're going to be in a more dimly lit environment like we are now, any kind of color on the carpet has to be amped up like 20, 30, 40% for you to even notice it, or it's not even worth it.
Well, I did notice that the light fixture that you had, which I guess is that like daylight when it's a little yellowish and bright, is way better than the brighter fixtures that we tried out with the were they fluorescent bulbs? Oh my, yeah, that was like a hospital. I didn't like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And, I know that particular fixture may look kind of bright because you're looking at it in comparison to the other lights that are.
No, but that looked good.
For lack of a better term, that's so poor. And I think, once you would see, 8 or 10 of those on a floor, I don't think it would look quite as
No,
as it might now, next to something else.
I think that the fixture was bright, but I actually liked the light that it cast. We tried the old fixtures with a brighter white bulb, and that looked like a hospital, like I just said before. But your fixture looked fine. Rob has a question.
No, just that when you get the others for us to look at, if we could install them in the long hallway so we can see how effective they are. It may help you when you're doing it.
Sure.
Okay, but Nick, can we get a move on with this by, let's have a plan. We're getting the lights in so we can all compare the lights when we choose it, so that we can do that quickly. All of us can choose the light. then let's
Right, so
move
if we
on
could,
to
if
you
we could maybe
choosing the
get like a
carpet with the
subcommittee
committee and
of the
let's
board,
get the
like
ball
2 or 3
rolling.
folks that, you know, once we get them up, I'll get them, I'll order them as quickly as possible, I'll have Walter have one, or, you know, one of the guys put them up, and then, you know, maybe within like, you know, 2 or 3 days rather than, you know, 2 or 3 weeks, maybe we can make a decision, because it's gonna impact the carpet discussion, so I don't want this to go on, you know, forever for you guys, right?
Okay,
Cool.
and then the only other thing I'm gonna add is, I know I met with some owners and they were concerned, I talked to Walter about it too, is we have to talk to Swaysland, the engineers, to say how intrusive is the 40-year? Because now if we're gonna go and change all this stuff and we're gonna have a lot of tread going throughout the hallways, you're like, we could have waited a year to do this. So that's the only other thing maybe they'll say it's minimal invasive inside and it's really outside, then we're good to go.
Or
But
we
if it's
can make
invasive,
that
then-
possible.
Well,
That's a fair point, yep.
Yeah, I don't think we should install the stuff
Well, I
until
don't know,
next
or
year.
make them plastic.
Well, we'll find out about that, but you can go ahead with what you need to do, because it shouldn't affect a
Sure,
year's
sure.
worth of
So
time.
we'll get a second round of lighting, an additional 1 or 2 that folks, you know, look at relatively quick and make kind of a, you know, a quick informed decision, and then we'll go based on
So you
that for
understand the
carpet and show you
construction
guys paint these
Mark, the
carpet samples
construction is
together,
2 more years.
and then we'll go from there.
We can't live with that
Wait, hold on one
carpet.
second.
We can't live with that carpet for 2 more years. I mean, it's a
No, I hear
filthy,
you, but-
dirty thing. No,
but
hold on,
logic
why
would
can't we?
dictate-
Plastic
Let's
coated,
just see what we
plastic.
find out about the engineering.
Yeah,
company.
let's find
See what
out.
they say.
If they say it's minimal invasive, let's change it.
Yeah, because they went with the fire, they may have to remove the siding, to run wires there.
If they have to.
Yeah,
They have.
so this we have to.
All right, we'll find out, but all right, so
I'm not worried
you're
about the
good.
fires,
Thank you,
so
Nick.
that's- That's gonna be in the apartments, it's not a.
Very good. Everybody okay with Nick? Yeah, done. Okay.
Thank you for all the work, brother.
Thank you. I just,
Sure, no problem. Okay, thanks, guys.
all
Thanks,
right,
Nick.
bye-bye. I just wanna ask
Good.
everybody, it's driving me insane every day now, and I saw you almost fall today.
All right,
I
I already talked
cannot
to Charles.
take it one more day. Everybody that uses it, who we need to put up a sign, because obviously the adults in this building
What's
are
that?
years old. You come out of the swimming pool, they come in here soaking wet, they walk that corridor soaking wet, they get out of my elevator soaking wet. They soaking wet. I walked in it today, sop across the laundry room floor onto the, they're gonna destroy this building. It is time. When you leave there, Jesus Christ, be
There's
an
a sign
adult.
there.
No, you wanna put it
Sign-
in,
the
you, I
sign's
want it
not around
flashed.
the document.
I want
You
it
can put all the
flashed.
signs
Install a body dryer.
One thing I'd like to see.
No, really, how could you do that? How could you do that?
One thing I'd like to see done with this carpeting and everything is find something that, I mean, it would be nice to have light colors and everything, it'd be nice and airy, but the reality is we have hallways, if it's not the contractors, it's people tracking through. So, yeah, darker colors such as tan or whatever, they might not look as nice and, but they last a lot longer for that reason. If we have brighter lights, you're gonna put in different lighting in the hallways, then you can have darker colors for the carpets.
That's what he's saying.
That's what he was saying.
I know,
That's
I'm
what
just
I'm
saying, let's try to
Yeah,
keep that
that's
into
what makes sense.
consideration when we're looking at the carpet color, because it makes a big difference.
That's
No,
what he,
that's the
that's
plan.
exactly what he was saying.
That's
That's
the
plan.
exactly what he was saying.
Like they're saying though, it's gonna be hard to stop people from coming
You
in,
can't.
stopping
You
away.
can't stop.
How long are these carpets?
But you
have
can stop
About
people,
10
there's a
while.
rule,
About
and it's
10
time it's
10 years.
enforced.
Yeah, but then you're gonna have a 24-hour guard at the pool.
No, you
because-
don't have to have a 24-hour guard, it's certain people, I could go
Well,
right
that's all you
now.
need to find out.
Okay, I could
Tell
go
me who it
right
is.
now.
Alright, so we can have a
Just
discussion
sit
later.
down, daddy on the weekend.
I
and
know that's
just-
one
okay,
person.
Right, just look at that crew on the weekend and you know.
Okay.
Right?
I'd like to mention something too.
But why are you reporting it?
I
No,
know.
she just did.
Okay, so you just did.
Okay,
All right, so we're good with that.
When you're choosing a carpet, I'm very strong, as far as nylon carpeting goes. Many of the samples I've looked at, are olefin and some of these others, and walking on them feels like indoor, outdoor carpeting, or that, covering that they used to put on the
Yeah.
balconies. But nylon is the best carpet, it holds the color, it's easy to clean up spots, and so I'm pushing for nylon, and I want to make you all aware of it.
Okay,
Sounds good. Okay, we ready for the next one?
all right.
So I would like for you guys to just ratify the fact that we just bought some pool furniture. Just need a motion to ratify the decision.
Yes.
Do I make a motion? I make a motion that we ratify.
Second?
Yeah.
Second.
What color have we got?
Everyone in favor?
What does it look like?
It's green with yellow polka dots.
Yeah.
And the other umbrella is purple.
Basically, all they had was, they didn't have much of a choice, honestly. We just went with what was the,
Here are the colors that were picked.
that
That's not bad, they're really nice.
Okay.
They're
She's making it like, they're very nice.
So this is
It's
the
a lot
frame,
nicer than what we have, and it's.
Oh, yeah, but
that's the frame color,
That's
And
fine,
then you spend.
this is the umbrellas color,
fine.
and this is the color for the lounges.
So it's like a textured bronze, for
the
those watching,
reason
a
that the
textured
lounge
bronze
is in that
outline
color,
of the chair, chase lounges and chairs. The umbrella's gonna be like a turquoise, and
Black
the
is,
chase lounge
it's not black.
canvas.
It's not black, it looks like these chairs.
No, it's like a bronze,
It matches these chairs.
Oh,
like a metal texture.
because black when it gets wet.
Oh, and first of all, really hot as heck.
Has anyone,
And then the other color is kind of, what is it, kind of like tan with a little teal with a little
Water,
something in there.
It looks better
We can
in
send out a
person.
picture.
It looks better than.
And we can send out a picture to
has
everyone.
anyone thought about cushions for these lounges or anything? I mean,
What
because
do you
they're not that comfortable without, you know, you can get those indoor, outdoor cushions.
These are gonna be
you
more
know.
comfortable than these.
wait, what,
A lot of these lounges come, you pay a little extra and you get cushions.
no, because
No, the
then they
lounge-
blow away.
No, the
No, they
lounge, you
don't.
want
They're
something
Turn
like
it
that.
down.
No, they have them in every hotel and condo in the world, yeah. They're cushions, yeah, that you sit on, yeah.
Oh, you know,
Well, I know
got
you,
a full
They're
length
I know
going
you
lounge
told me
chair,
about
yeah.
this, so.
Well, first of all,
Makes
we
it a lot
ordered
more
everything.
comfortable.
We
Those
ordered
things are
everything
not
when it
very
gets here.
comfortable.
When they get here, let's judge that.
Get that after
You
the
do
fact.
understand the
Yeah,
cushions at the
exactly, because
hotel
I-
have to be, if you put them out, they have to be replaced. I don't mind, I'll go
Sure,
look
they,
for them.
you gotta replace
But
them.
they have to be replaced like every year because they get moldy. I'm
Yeah,
telling you.
it's just with water on it.
Yeah.
And also people with suntan lotion.
All right, but how
Yeah.
much
Well,
are they
it's
per
well,
se? How
Well,
much are
I
they?
don't
it's
mind.
50, 60 bucks a piece, you know, but I mean, it does make a big difference in the way they look and comfort too, I think, you know, I mean,
And they gotta be taken in.
Well, you do
Gotta
understand.
be taken in.
only during storms.
Mm,
Which
Yeah.
is.
All right, here's
I
part of the
stay in
thing,
hotels my
is
entire
those don't get
life.
stained
I've
up.
never seen them taken.
those things get stained up.
Just a comment.
These won't.
Can we just look,
When-
when everything gets here,
When
it's
it
already
arrives,
ordered.
Yeah,
yeah,
let's-
I
yeah.
actually agree with you, we
It
can go out.
relatively,
Old Time Pottery has them, they.
Here, I
Already got a price for these windows. You might want to decide what you're going to do about the windows in here. Because I think the two important things we really need is energy conservation, meaning.
we got quotes on it, go really dark, and then that ruins the view.
See, we used to have verticals.
It does help a lot.
And what I'm saying?
There are, by the way, I've been pricing for my places, there are blackout blinds at home example, I just did it for Villas of Harbor Isle. They pull down, they're the width of each of those, so you get 1, 2, 3, 4, how many ever. You cut, Home Depot cuts it to this size, you pull it down, each one's gonna run us like about
again. So it was good. We saved, how much was it
I
last
think it was
year?
more that we saved 5. I don't know why they undercut it so much with all
Well,
of
because we
our,
canceled the one policy, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
We
the
did a
last
change of broker, then they got a little competitive, and then we went back to the broker, and he came back less than what we had last year, even with our 200.
clay.
What was the final claim of
it
Yeah.
was
that
like
thing?
210.
Yeah.
$210,000, which was, obviously, we couldn't account for that because we didn't know we were gonna get it, part of that painting and renovation thing, so there's extra money in there now. We didn't know that we were gonna get all that, so that's great.
Can I
So
please get a motion?
Yeah, motion. to-
Motion by Ann, second by
Me, all right.
Mark. Everybody in favor? Okay, so D is discussion about the common area repair. So as you know, we've been doing the stack repairs on all the units. Well, some of them. We've done about 40 units now. First, this is the first time we encountered this in 2 units. 2 of the units we couldn't match their tile to put it back. So right now we have issues where I'm gonna show you pictures where we've gone to 20 different tile stores. We couldn't get it. When we finally thought we had it, they sent us the wrong stuff. It came from Mexico, took a month and a half to get it. So now these homeowners are to the point where they just really upset about not being able to have their bathroom done, and their bathroom has been like that for 2 months now, I think.
So what time is it, that blue
So
tile?
yeah, so this is like little tiles, like mosaic tiles. And so what we got doesn't really match that, and of course the homeowner didn't like that idea. What she's proposing in this case is that we just put the drywall back, just spackle it, paint it, make it look decent, and to buy us out to give her $1,500. That's what she proposed. However, this morning we talked with our contractor, and he said it would be around $1,000 to $1,500 for this bathroom, and for the 9B bathroom, which should come up soon.
So are you saying the one on the left, going back to the other picture, the one on the left is what needs to be it?
Well, right here, you see the blank portion?
Yeah, great.
This is, so people can't see it on TV, but it's the portion right behind the toilet where we replaced the big stack
Right,
pipes.
but that's it.
So all it is drywall, we replaced the
It
pipes,
used
now
to be
it's supposed to
tile.
match this blue tile.
You know who has it? We just did our pool with that stuff. Is Robert Allard pool.
Yeah, it's close, but it's not a
Yeah, but if
perfect
you look
match.
close, it's not the same.
We can't get the exact same match. When
You know, you put it next, you're like, all right, you can obviously see the difference.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, it's close, but
There's not some other colors in there.
Wow.
She wasn't
Any-
okay
any-
with just replacing it with the closest one you could find.
No.
no, I wouldn't.
She's offering for us to just paint it and give her $1,500.
She said, leave it like that, just give me the money and I'll deal with it.
Yeah.
Which is what it would cost
I
us
think
anyway.
give her the
Do
money,
that anyway.
yeah, I think,
Exactly.
yeah, just
I'll let her deal with it.
end the confusion.
So on the not, this is 8B, and the next one is 9. B. And basically the same thing, we couldn't match their tile, we couldn't find anything similar to it, not even the size. So we sent him a few samples to do like accent tiles and make it look nice. He didn't like any of them, so we can propose that to him as well. And I say that we move forward with that plan. If we find any other ones that we cannot match the tile, we cannot put it back. Let's say we call our contractor and say how much is it gonna cost us to just finish that off, and give us a number so that we can just give that money to the homeowner and let them deal with it.
Yeah.
I think that's what we should do.
The other way to do that would be to just do the bathroom itself, play with it, again, that's the person's taste, so just give them
Right,
the
you
money.
can.
Yeah,
I mean,
the only way I could
Guys,
see
it's just a
fixing
bad
that would be to
situation.
do the rest of it. Or mirror that, what is gonna be in front of that, the toilet? Oh, because I see the mirror anymore, but I don't look at my toilet.
Yeah, so that's.
so it's the small, yeah, it's the small portion behind the toilet.
So I wanted to talk about this because we need to have a plan to reply to AB.
Why don't we do this, so why don't we, before we say what we do, why don't we get, because I think we spoke to him this morning, get the quotes in print, and then we go by that.
Absolutely. So can I just please have a motion to follow that plan whenever we have encounter an issue like this? Just
Yeah.
get a proposal from the contractor, how much is it gonna cost us to do it?
And give them.
Use that to give that money to the people.
I
That's
agree.
brilliant.
I agree.
That's the only way to do
fantastic.
this.
Really.
Takes us out.
And I-
And try to salvage as much as we can, like you said, you've been doing before we take it down.
That's good.
I mean, we've done 40 units and only out of 40, only 2 has been giving us
Right,
issues.
nice.
Okay.
Give us issues.
All right, so let's just, so I'm sure he'll get it to you tomorrow or the next
You
day.
didn't
We're
even
good.
put the sheet rock back on mine.
All right, I motion for
I
that.
know, we
Okay.
save money on that, and we
Exactly.
save money on the ones that are under construction too. So,
So that's,
All right,
I think
that's
that's a
cool.
good
can I please have a motion to do that?
Yeah.
Motion by Don, second by Ann. Everybody in favor?
Yeah. Aye.
Thank you.
It's a good approach.
Yeah, I mean, then again, some of these probably need to be remodeled anyways.
Well,
They can use
money,
money.
and you can't have.
Everyone has their own taste. Everyone has their own taste.
Yeah, I know.
Because
No, it's got very.
Okay, so the next one is the 2018 budget. I printed on your folders in the last one. Is the budget that I'm proposing for 2018. Basically for that budget, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up here. So for that budget, we stay flat pretty much on everything. The only thing that we were not able to stay flat, we talked about the management services, which we have a contract with the management company, and it goes up by 4% a year. So that's, not nothing that we can do. So right now,
That's all right,
probably
so
next
that's like
year,
a 3,000 thing.
$3,000 of increase.
Yeah, that's just their management fee.
We also have, last year we didn't include any salary increases, so for next year we are including salary increases, just to keep it.
It's just in there.
what did we use as a percentage for that, the salary increase?
So for the manager, I used a recommendation from Rick based on the salaries in the area
Okay.
for a manager with.
And what about our
with
employees?
experience. And for the other employees, we use 3%, just a 3% increase.
That's fair.
Did we
We can work.
include anything like bonuses in there too? I'm not seeing.
We do have a $4,000 holiday bonus, line 30. I don't know if you guys can see it right here.
And we have, was that the same as last
Same
year, or
as
has
last-
it gone up? Because that's the other thing I wanna ask, do we wanna address that? What is that?
Well, last year we looked at it and said, shit, that's not enough money. So
Yeah, that's what
everything
I'm
I would
asking
question
now.
is either we have to say it is or it isn't. If we think it's not enough, then we need to
I
add to
didn't
it,
think
or
it
we all
was
need to be
enough
quiet
last
at
year.
Christmas.
That's the only thing I found I had a question.
You can't have it both ways.
6,000, you get 5 employees.
I think
This is the time.
6,000, to bring it up, if you want to 6,000 would be better.
All right, so we'll go to 6,000.
I agree.
I think so, and that bothered me. That was the only thing honestly that
Okay.
bothered me. But
What the budget would look like with the 6,000 increase. The other thing that we had in here, let me see what else I have.
Didn't we have,
when
Some
you changed it,
utilities,
did you have to change
FPL
it in
goes up?
both lines?
I'm sorry?
Did you have to change it in both lines?
No, it doesn't have a So for the utilities, I actually did that in 2016 for 2017. They were forecasting a 20% increase, so I made the increase last year. So for this year, it should stay the same.
okay.
Did you notice your light bill went up phenomenally, or is it because I have my son?
For
home?
everybody.
I get that missed.
Noise for everybody.
I didn't notice.
Noise for everybody.
Okay, cool, because I've noticed my light bill is just not,
They had a 20% increase for everybody.
I used to be $40, I'm now $120.
What?
Yeah, I'm $120 a month.
I'm running 3 refrigerators and I'm at 60.
Okay, I'm at
Something else is
You gotta
wrong.
set-
Yeah, it's wrong, I'm all of a sudden at $120 a month.
I know it was an increase, but I,
Yeah, I
Please
don't,
Stop playing with these toys.
don't know where it's coming
Mine
from.
is to say $24.
Yeah, I used to be 40 and I
That's
said, Dave,
exorbitant.
there's something I'm doing and I'm blaming him, but the truth is I shouldn't be, something's not right.
Yeah, I think something like that.
Yeah,
okay, so basically the other increase that we have in our projected budget is the reserves. Our compromise when we started on 2017 was to get us as close as possible to 100%. And so we started by contributing 30% on 2017, and so right now we're proposing to increase it to 40%. So that would bring us up from 108, which is what we're doing for 2017, to 119.
So 108,000 in reserves from last year, so this year with the increase, it'll be 119,000.
So it's only an $8,000 increase.
So, all right, you might as well broadcast what the difference is for the units.
Yes, I am gonna
I'm
be
sorry.
doing that. So right now it looks for an A unit it would be a $40 increase, and for a J unit it would be a $14 increase, and of course everybody is in between those two numbers.
How much is mine?
Would be an extra $40.
40 and his is
Uh-huh.
how much?
37.
No, how much was the president's?
$14.
It's a see, 14, it's because he's the
It's
president.
rigged, it's rigged, it's rigged.
Totally right.
We need to change
So
those.
for the
lines.
8 units, it's $40.
$40,
You're
30 cents extra.
You have 37 some.
37.47 will be for the B unit.
For the B units, 37?
37.47.
And now here's the deal, like, this is always between us, it's like, all right, will we ever get to 100%? Probably not, funding it. Next year, could we go to 50%? Maybe, maybe not, you can keep it the same, because regardless, we don't have enough in our reserves to handle this for the year. So we're gonna get an assessment anyway, there's no need to have just money sitting in the coffers.
Sorry, you mean.
We could decide next year,
You know
I mean,
what?
is everyone cool with the 40%? Honestly, you're cool
I'm
with it.
fine that we're just raising it, and it gets to a point where it's satisfactory and
Whatever that number is.
whatever that is, I don't know. The problem is first of all, it affects the value of your homes, okay, when you try to sell them. And it also really, if you happen to be the person selling at the time that there's an assessment because nobody put enough money away in the past, you're bit in the ass. I mean, you'll end up paying the assessment and losing money on your place because no one
Then
will
the
be
counter
interested.
argument is for the, well, guess for someone that doesn't stay, is
Oh,
for the
it's
person
great.
that,
Absolutely.
yeah, for the person that spends every month, boom, 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 and then you sell your apartment, like, wow, I funded this condo for how many years?
But that you pay as you go. That's all.
No, no, I
You're
get
paying
you.
for the roof because you're
So-
using the roof, and that's how you have to look
Is
at
there
it.
gonna be a difference again for the B plus units?
Yeah. If they decide that they want to buy
For the
that
ones that
hallway
sign-
or
yeah,
use the
right,
hallway.
yeah.
I'm talking about, you said $40 for the A units, B units 37.47. What about B plus
B
units?
plus might be 40.
So the B plus units
No.
will have, once they
They're only
sign the
picking up
agreement
50.
and everything is done, we'll add the extra fee based on the
Square footage, 50 square feet.
Which might only.
So
And-
B plus might go to
But
over.
now,
You're gonna pay the same square footage that I pay.
We
Whatever it
cannot-
is.
So, given, I know we're not at that topic yet, you know.
Yeah.
But let's say it's all approved and all that. I bought the unit in 2013. I've been assessed that additional fee ever since then. Is that
Well,
gonna
not
be?
this year, Joe.
Not this year.
Not this year.
You were
Not
not,
this year.
not
No.
this year.
Well, yeah,
We
we
stopped
were-
that
our-
on
our-
No,
our
we
maintenance-
have
No,
not
B plus
been
units,
having
they
it.
pay the same as
We didn't
everybody
do it
else.
this year with
Oh,
the B,
yes.
yeah.
We haven't done it this year with the B. You've been
Because
paying
it's
the same
illegal.
as all
That's why
the
we
other
haven't done
fees. It's illegal
It was
until
a
we
15
make.
extra dollar fee years prior, but when we did the 2017 budget, since we said, we're not allowed to charge extra for that, we left it the same.
But no, in the years prior, I paid.
But the years prior,
Yeah,
you did.
yeah.
I paid more than $15.
Yeah.
15, yeah.
I
Okay,
did.
but say thank you to
15
your
was the
other
number.
boards from the years prior that they charged you.
I think when I bought the unit, it was supposed to be at 800. And Ken, who was that, told me it was gonna be 880 because I'm a B plus.
It's
And then-
$15 extra was the number.
Wow.
Well, there was
Wow.
Ken,
It's the same
depending on what Ken.
And can I tell you, can I ask you something? Did you ask him if you
Somebody's
should?
responsible for that.
Okay, but may I
$80.
ask you this? Did
And
you not
I-
ask him if you should bend
I'm at
over
now
while he told you?
925.
Did you ask him if you should bend over while you paid it?
Well,
No,
unfortunately.
$925 is what you pay now.
925 is what.
Yeah,
I
but
paid.
that's not, but that's what every B unit pays.
That's what every B unit pays.
It's 15, it was $15 extra fee, which was just an arbitrary number.
Now,
that
if
they
you were
picked
being
back
charged
then.
something different, look up your stuff and bring it, and talk about it.
Yeah.
You know,
It was just a
we
$15
believe
fee.
we only charge you.
You got the records of what I paid.
Yeah, but you should be paying $925.41.
Now I am.
Yes,
So is,
But
so is the
that
one
was
above you.
them at the
Three.
time.
All Bs pay that, all the same.
We understand you paid it before, but
No, but that 800 and 880 thing, I have no idea
You
what that's.
got records.
I
All
can
right,
look
we
it
can
up.
look back at it. We'll look back at it. Yeah,
So what's gonna happen, after we have the agreement done and we have all the votes, once the person signs the agreement, they're gonna have to pay the lump sum. And with the lump sum, we're gonna calculate also the extra fee for that extra square footage. And that's not gonna be part of your maintenance, it will be incorporated in the same ledger and in the same bill, but it cannot be part of your maintenance fees because that would
So
be
the
illegal.
lease fee is a
So
separate.
what
Yeah,
is
it's a
our-
rental.
but what if I paid, we're talking
square
about the
feet?
one-time lease fee, right?
There is two, there is the one-time fee and then there is the monthly fee.
What if I
Which is
just
gonna be a
wanted the
fraction.
one time?
How many square feet is the?
37
I
square
want to say
feet.
it's like 40.
Yes, it's 30 square feet, yeah.
I know, we measured it.
The
The
hallway
square
Yeah,
feet, no, the square feet of the apartment.
So
Oh,
what you'll be doing is you'll pay the
14,
one-time
50,
lease fee,
Yeah.
and then every month, whatever
400,
that
right.
difference is, in like
Okay.
if the maintenance is $5 a square foot or $10 a square foot, you'll just pay it for that area as a separate fee, which would work out to like maybe what, $2 or $3.
You'll be treated just like
It's gonna
I
be
am.
mid-
So,
Yeah.
so not only do you pay the one-time lease,
Mhm.
but you pay maintenance fee on that area.
Yes,
Correct.
correct, because
Correct.
you now have,
You're leasing
okay,
it.
because you're now owning that square footage.
The original thing was not with that, but we wouldn't get the votes. Even though it's a couple dollars,
Oh,
we were
trust
not
me.
getting the votes.
Trust me.
You know,
It's
originally it
only
was,
gonna
we would
be
not
a
be down
couple
to two
dollars a month.
yeah,
But think
originally it was
about
a
it,
one
you're
fee,
holding
and
that.
then people were not having it.
When did
Yeah,
that change?
because
I
they're
missed
getting more.
it.
they have more square feet.
When that agreement went out, because we realized no one was gonna go for it, they
Well,
wanted
no,
that
no,
extra
they-
$2.
No, I had people telling me they weren't gonna
Yeah,
go for
I
it.
know that.
Because they were saying, why are they paying X per square?
Why do
foot?
they get extra square
So
footage?
your point, Robert, as well, because if I'm gonna sell the unit, and I say in addition, you're gonna be paying $1,000 a month.
Mhm.
You're gonna be, it's a
Yeah,
dollar and
but
change.
you're
But
paying
then-
by
and
the
then-
square footage.
And then,
It's a dollar and change.
and then go to my,
Am I calculating
like I
this
showed you, like yours too.
400?
Go to our balcony,
I did it on 8.
which I
Okay,
looked at my
925.
balcony, and I said,
Oh, no, I did it
now
from the
that my
change.
cleaning lady's
37,
cleaning the glass,
47.
I can see.
No.
Okay, I'll do it from
Yours
the, yeah,
shows
925.
But the balconies at this range,
50, 63
they are,
cents.
this range.
That's what I mean, so 63
What do you
was
mean the balcony?
46.
The wall?
it's
No, look at it, all you have to do, I'm on the second
Oh, it's
floor,
37.
go outside, look on the second floor.
What happened to the balcony?
It's peeling, it's coming apart.
Oh, no, he's got problems with his plastic and shit. Walter's sending somebody up tomorrow. to
What
look
do you
at it.
mean, the railing itself?
Yeah, the railings.
You know, our
screwed up.
railing is all peeling.
So
No, 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 he's not
37.
talking about paint, he's talking about the plastic itself is coming apart.
Oh, okay.
Everything, but
So-
even the painting.
Well, yeah, but that's
But I
superficial.
repainted
Safety.
my balcony because I
Alright.
hate looking at the building.
So- This was the plan that we've always talked about. We were gonna be replacing those railings.
Right.
Are the railings unsafe? Because if they're safe,
Okay, so you
Yeah.
stood on that balcony with my contractor, Aaron,
uh-huh.
remember? And the rebars are going, I mean, is it unsafe? Am I gonna fall off?
You're talking about the
You're
actual
talking about the
slab.
concrete now, right?
Talking about the slab.
Concrete, yeah,
Okay.
it's not even, it's going down,
So we hit him first.
right? But number two, I mean, if I wanna sell the unit, who's gonna buy that unit? Looking at the balcony the way it is, and me saying, or you saying, maybe in 2 years, we're gonna get to the front of the building, because that's how much the assessment is gonna be or whatever.
I think
It's
that
incredible.
development has to be done first.
It's bad,
If that's
it
bad.
is bad.
I haven't been up there, but the way you're saying it, it sounds
You're
bad. So-
welcome to walk in my unit anytime,
Yeah,
anybody is.
Well, they're
How
gonna be
soon
there
are
tomorrow
we
to look at the
gonna
handrail,
start?
make sure it's safe, and then they
it's gotta
can
be
take it.
soon, like as soon as possible.
Well, then why don't we, because I haven't heard anybody else having a bad balcony like that, why don't we, when we start the concrete restoration, the first apartment.
But he's saying 2 years, but I don't think it's gonna be 2 years.
It's not 2
No,
years,
it's
we're
not
gonna
2
be
years.
It'll be less
starting
than
in
2
a couple
years.
of months.
It's not 2 years.
This is gonna be next year, I think we're gonna start.
We're starting
This
the
is-
bidding soon. for the
And in all honesty, if you're communicating that to them, anybody who wants to buy it, they'll be happy that it's all gonna be brand new. They
If there's
will
a
not-
danger right now, then we
I
gotta,
don't know,
okay.
but he was.
Well, that's why we're looking at tomorrow.
With my contractor at the time.
But we will put your own as the first one to be done, and that would be early next year.
Well, that one is 16 up in the
I
other
don't
one.
worry, yeah, but I'm not.
Well, let's just put.
We got-
those
I know,
in
but we got
first.
All right, so we're gonna validate that you're safe over there first, and then when
Yeah.
after that, then, when this thing goes through, then yeah, you gotta be addressed first.
Yeah,
Okay, so going back to our budget, so the only change that I'm going to make is that I'm going to raise
Increase the holiday
the
bonus.
holiday bonus to $6,000, so if that's the only change, can I just have a motion to, just finish that
I think we're
change
good.
and just mail it out?
Yeah, let's send it out.
yep,
Okay, so motion from Don, I need a second, second from Ann, all in favor?
everybody agree to the
Yes,
bonus?
so, right, so it's extra on the holiday fee, there was a couple extra things in, the management contract, that was for the operating budget, just wanna make sure everyone knows. And then utilities, we said is about the same, and
It's about the
actually, hopefully with the water we get even less, but we budgeted the same. What was, there was a third thing that we went up on?
Salaries and.
Oh, the management thing and the salaries we have for
and
raises. Otherwise, the budget's gonna be the same. Everything is really just for reserves. That's the only addition.
Right.
All right, so
Okay.
are you in favor?
Yeah, I'm ready to go to that.
Okay, and you in favor, right? Okay, so all in favor for that? Thank you guys. All right, so, we've been discussing document amendments for a while, I think even before I started, here, so, we got the attorney to draft some document amendments for us, and I just wanna pull those out so that we
I
can.
just wanted to.
Yeah, once we went on the board, we were like, we gotta change these documents. Common sense stuff that were either taken out or were never in there.
All right, so the first amendment is basically to require all the homeowners to have homeowners insurance, very important. We have issues, or we had issues with leaks, and these people didn't have insurance, some people didn't get covered, homeowners got screwed up. So this is gonna be required, from now on if the board.
And it's a relatively, in HO6, it's relatively inexpensive. It's like, I think it's considered dwelling.
Yeah, because you don't have to do your content.
Yeah, but not everybody has a mortgage.
Yeah, right.
You don't
Yeah,
have to
exactly.
do- You don't have to do your content.
No, wait a minute, what did
But
you
you
say?
have to
It's
do-
not in
Slacker.
My insurance just went up to 600.
What do I know?
I think I pay like 500 for mine.
Oh,
My
okay,
small
fine.
apartment,
So-
yeah.
Okay.
So that's the first amendment. The second amendment is that,
I'm moving in with you, Mark. You don't pay anything for anything.
No overhead.
he was just telling me he lives
My
in here for free. Number two is that we want to make sure that no entity or owner is allowed to own more than 3 units, just to avoid giving too much power to one person.
So,
Well,
It's
to not
common
have
sense, I've seen it in
investor
other ones.
apartments, to not have investor apartments where we have.
so
what
it's a
I'm
maximum
having.
of 3 you can own, and that's
I
it.
agree.
Or your entity.
Okay?
If you
Yeah.
are a
We
officer
don't-
of.
We don't have anybody like that.
Not right now.
Not right now. Oh,
We actually do have somebody.
Couple
who owns
twos. I
three.
don't know if you have 3.
No, we
No,
have
we
one
don't.
guy
Who
who's straight.
has them?
Who?
Who
Yeah,
owns
there's-
them?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one
Once you
person
ask-
that's three on the list that's called.
2 now.
7 minutes, 15, 17.
So 3 is that.
So I think 3 is fine. I don't think anyone has an issue with that, I hope.
Okay, the third amendment is to not allow any directors to serve more than 2 consecutive terms, just so that the same people don't stay in the board for a long
Also, I
time.
want directors to attend meetings or step down. I really think
You-
it's important. No, you can, because we have people that live in the
Here's the
building that
thing,
want
not-
to be on the board.
Then they run.
Can enforce
You,
it,
you can't enforce that.
can enforce it.
You
We
can't.
asked,
They had then run. Let them
Yeah.
Because we
run.
can't put it in our rules. But you can put in the rules that
It's
they
not
can't
enforceable.
run, but you
No,
can't
because that's a
put in-
Florida statute
this
thing.
is not enforceable. Mhm.
I don't think, and you also we're minimizing people running as it is with one of the other
Well,
ones too.
I mean, right now, it's okay in that there's.
It
Right,
does,
no,
it's
it's
okay,
here,
because we
right?
have a quorum,
it's not
but
like
I'm
we don't
thinking about
communicate.
when we don't. You
But
know,
when they run,
because
you can
sometimes
run.
Robert's away, sometimes, you know, somebody
but
else.
he's involved in the email, so he's
All right. No, I
The
know,
statute-
we
the
understand what I'm saying,
Of course I
because if
understand.
just say 3 of us are not here, but we don't have anybody else.
no, I know, we
We can do it over the phone, we can, you know,
Okay,
there's
cool.
just a lot of ways
because it's
around
still a volunteer job.
Yeah, no, but once you have the people sign, I was just worried for when you don't, because sometimes I'm rushing to be here when I.
No, well, we should always say you don't have to make it if we have
Yeah.
4. So, wait, with the further explanation of the 2-year terms, since it's people are running and not everyone wants to run for the board, if an officer wants to run again to do a third 2-year term, he needs 50%, he or she needs 50% of the casted votes, participating votes. So, you know, not everyone votes in the elections. I think last election a lot did, but let's say 60 people vote. If that person who already ran 2 terms wants to run again, he can put his name down. He has to get, what did I say, 60, so he needs 30. No, just 50%, I think. he said.
Is this a consecutive rule? In other words, you can not run and then run again later? How does that work?
Yeah, it's just consecutive.
Just
Okay.
consecutive. But so here's the thing with your comment, we need to
Okay.
get quorum for elections, we need to get 69 votes at least to have quorum.
Oh, we're
If you
trying to
guys
run over that,
If you
right?
guys don't get quorum,
Yeah.
the same board has to stay.
All right, so, right, you need, that's part of that paper that besides the ballot is the proxy form.
So if we come next year,
That says you're present, because we need a half the membership to be present to even have the election. So at least minimum, we need 69 people to vote.
If we come next year and there is not enough votes, the same board has to stay.
Yeah, then it's the same people. I'm
So
assuming.
there's no way around it, that's just very established.
Are we going to have
Good luck with that.
That's
elections
just,
every
I
year?
mean,
when
you
we-
don't
Dawn and I are
have
out
to,
of
but.
Well, I don't know, we didn't do where they, I understand what you're saying, they're alternate, and it probably makes sense, it's weird when to start that, but I think it doesn't really matter, because he wanted to do half the board leaves in 2 years, and then the following leaves
Staggered
the next
terms,
year.
that's what they call it.
Staggered terms, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's necessary, because people will leave the board. I don't know if you're gonna have those hangers.
Let me
These
rephrase that. You don't
management
have to stay.
companies, what
No, you
is
don't
it?
have to.
Yeah.
But what the board can do, the remaining board members, they can appoint people to the board, they don't have to be voted in.
Yeah.
That's what you guys can.
Right, if someone leaves, we went.
Like
We
what,
know all
what
about
happened with
that,
Bob,
yeah.
We know
you know,
about
you
that.
would appoint anybody.
But we did that with that.
Right, so for example, let's say don't leave.
And the flaws.
That's
Yeah.
not what I can do that.
Okay, so everyone understands that, so I hope people will vote for that, because
And I agree.
Having people stay
strongly
indefinitely
that
is-
President living here, I agree.
Okay, so the next one is so that, let me see, okay, this one is to stop boards from changing the rules and regulations. Basically, with this change, we're asking you to say yes to not allowing the board to just be the ones to decide what goes in the rules and regulations.
So-
You have to vote approving those as
So
well.
the
may
rules and
not always have a
regulations,
board
everyone's like,
that's-
okay, I'm pretty good with how we have it. If someone wants to change a rule, it could be an owner, it could be the board. You gotta get 50% plus one of the membership to change a rule. This way,
I agree.
if a board comes in and
Fair.
they're maniacal, God forbid that happens,
It's fair.
they can't change rules. It has to be the association, which makes total
That
sense.
is, that is fair, that's very.
That's the way it used to be.
That's why.
Was it? Yeah.
So he's bringing that back.
It was, it's one of those things that were changed over the years.
Okay.
Village of Harbour Isle is working with their lawyers and trying to find out how they're doing it. So to make it so that
Alright, he knows what's up.
That's, well, the only difference is supposed to change over there.
Mark,
Alright, so we're good, what's that?
I was gonna say, do you think we could, look into getting dimmers, like for the hallway and the lobby?
Well, depends, LEDs don't dim, from what I understand.
Well, no, I'm
Mine are
sorry.
fully-
Actually, I do have,
You can do anything
at
I
my
want.
office, I have LEDs that dim, but not as much as
No,
incandescent.
what I mean.
Correct. But you could dim them quite a bit.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Why do
wait,
you wanna
I'm
be-
talking about this hallway and our
For
lobby.
instance, during the
Why do you want
daytime, you
that?
don't need those things going full
Or he
blast.
hates the light.
Why do you want it to be
It's
dim?
very
Because
dark
it's so
here.
bright.
There's not a lot of natural light.
Because
It's
all of us are
just
accustomed to living in
Everything
our
looks
caves
terrible, this
upstairs,
light.
so we wanna live.
Why
When I change the
come
light
around
bulbs,
with stuff
they
that's
will
tent when
change
you
the
buy
light
it?
bulbs, you'll dark the whole-
There it is, she stopped it. She's gonna take your
I'm gonna
glass.
take your glasses.
We're
Bring them
good.
And
around.
by the way,
Yeah,
you
you
heard what
look
Walter
much
just
better.
said, when you change.
Turn on the lights.
I'm still waiting for Walter to replace the lights in the
Yeah,
hallway.
but did you hear what he said about the hallways when they changed the light bulbs? What, it was
So it
dark.
was dark.
Well, we changed them, yeah.
Okay, so if that's the case, leave it.
We
as
can
it is.
dim
I
it.
think
It's a
everybody
dimmer,
just
what's
got
it cost?
accustomed
$20,
to the cave
$30?
light. And I'm
And
telling you.
the truth be told, LED are so cheap to run.
Yeah.
They really are. I mean,
Okay,
Be
I'm good
amazed.
with dimmers. Alright, so what did we get?
Alright,
So that was
the next one is, we are, putting in there that the president has to be, resident,
I agree.
a resident in the.
so going forward, you gotta be a full-time resident. Whoever's gonna run for president, you gotta know what's going on.
Strongly agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least the president, I mean, it is.
Yeah, we were gonna do it for
hard to
more,
get
but
everybody.
we never get a
Mark,
board.
you're right, and I strongly agree with
Yeah,
that.
so, you know,
We've been through it.
someone else has just gotta know what's going on day to day,
Yeah.
or at least a few days a week.
Alright, so with that, can I please have a motion to approve this so we can,
So now, with that, now we're gonna mail those out.
yeah, we have to mail them out and schedule a membership meeting.
Okay,
Robert first.
so I'm good.
So I have a motion by Robert, second by Robert, all in
Yeah,
favor?
we all let
Motion by Robert, second by
Aye,
Robert.
aye.
Yeah, let's do Robert.
Robert's
Oh,
rules.
sorry.
That's Robert's rules.
Yeah.
Do I have a
Robert's
motion,
rules of
all
order.
have, all in favor?
Yes.
In favor, okay, all in favor, thank you guys.
Alright, almost there.
So on the B units, the only thing that I really wanna say here, and you guys kinda, you think is that we only have 2 people more to vote.
It's pretty unbelievable.
You can do your work your magic, but, so it's only 2 people, I mean,
The you need to speak to him. I think I did a pretty good job.
You did. We spoke with the one person and he said he would send his in, but I don't know. He's
Bottom line, we have 2 people left that I think we'll get.
From your lips to God's ears.
I hear you. I said, and we spoke to the attorney to say,
Well, we're
get
waiting.
in touch with people.
Mark said he
Down,
knows
and it's like,
Toronto, and he's gonna take care of that, so.
Because the meeting's tomorrow, so you're gonna, when the last 2 are gonna sign the proxy?
No, that's
The
fine.
meeting is on 24th.
Oh, it's 20.
24th.
We've got 2 weeks.
Okay, so we have 2 more to sign.
24.
Yeah, I need to-
Yes, hopefully we'll get them.
Oh,
Sure. That's really all the B unit thing. I want to put that thing behind us already. I'd like to. I'm sure it's.
I just wanted to give, I just wanted to give you guys an update. There is no violations that we gotta review right now that we have sent. With that being said, I think we pretty much discussed everything. You guys have any more questions that you wanna get answered?
I thought it kind of nice that we have not that many people here.
Yeah.
Because everyone's so well informed. Feel like I don't need to go. I know it.
This is not a question, this is just, a suggestion or something, I don't know what the heck you call it. Dish Network, I called these people and they came in and they, quote unquote, downsized my speed coming in to my unit, so I wouldn't have any pixelation problems. Now, my HD DVR unit in my living room still has serious pixelation problems. I can't even watch anything.
Is it just certain stations or?
No, it's not. They asked that question too, it's a bunch of BS.
Well, that's what they asked me, and then they said, oh no, that's a problem for the building, not a problem for me personally.
They're BS.
That should not happen at all.
My Huawei unit,
Yeah.
which is, from what I understand, is a more modern, up-to-date unit in my master bedroom, works fine. Today I had a little bit of pixelation problem, but nothing to sneeze at.
All right, well,
They're saying it's just because of the
But the
DVR.
HD DVR one, they actually put some kind of weights to get rid of to downsize the speed coming in, which I don't understand that.
I don't get it either.
It's not good.
Look,
But
Barbara
I'm
brought
above
out something
Ray.
as his
I'm
apart-
above Ray, and Ray, I have to tell you, I didn't have a problem. All of a sudden, Friday, Saturday, and
Yeah,
Sunday.
terrible, right?
Okay, this weekend I was having pixelation, and I'm right
Yeah,
below Ray.
right.
And I have no internet. I look at TV via internet. I don't look at American.
no, all right, so
I lose internet.
No, no,
I
it's not happening.
can't look at TV at night. Every night from 2 o'clock until 4 o'clock, I can't look at television.
All right, so-
Then go to hell to sleep.
I don't sleep at
My
night.
God.
all right, so
Some of us don't have
called
them.
anyone about your issue?
Well, I called before, now I'm gonna call again.
Me too.
All right, so
Exactly, I hear you.
let's find out about Ray's thing because they already came
But
back
it's
already.
They came back and they sent a,
And then this lady.
Please, it's because I hear him walking around.
Okay, because I'm telling you, I have no problems at all.
Ray, why did you put in wooden floors? I just want to tell you,
I don't have
everyone.
wooden floors.
I got one TV.
I
And
want
you know what?
you to hear me, not mess it.
All night.
We should get the
I
text.
can tell you where you go, what you do, when you open and close the door.
So why don't we just move in together?
Master.
This is why I never complain,
No, we
because
don't
I
need a guy.
figured I would have to
Yes.
move in.
All right, guys, just a quick comment with Opticatel. Every time I call them, because you guys tell me that you have issues, they tell me for you guys to call them.
Okay, so-
Because they have to record it in their log that the homeowner called, blah, blah, blah. So I will send them an email about you three, but make sure that you call so that it's on the record that you
Well, we
guys
do
called.
that, and they try to say it's basically our problem.
No, well, that's a silly,
Well,
no, if that's what they say, then you tell us.
There was a meeting the other day with Optitel, remember that meeting we
Yeah.
had the
Yes.
other day? They totally put it on all the owners.
Saying that what?
That it was user.
That the wiring?
The one guy hasn't had service since it's been installed, and they blamed him. I forget the guy's name.
Isn't there
Later,
some
Andre.
dedicated call
Take
center?
care.
Thank you.
Bye.
You got
Andre.
it.
So on that one, I forgot the unit number, but
That was something with the wiring.
they went onto this unit and he had a Blu-ray DVD item and he was messing up with the signal. As soon as they unplugged it in, he had signal.
Yeah, but that's
So you can't
BS.
use-
I know.
I mean,
Let me just explain.
with Comcast,
It was-
I called them, they came out, they told me my cable's bad. He ran a cable on my floor, okay, in order to get me TV. He said he couldn't do it that way. Understand, they unplugged the Comcast stuff, which was working fine.
Yeah.
And now they can't, and I have a cable running across my.
And you have brand new cable.
Huh?
You have brand new cable on your apartment.
Well, yeah, but obviously
No,
there's
that-
something
that's
wrong
the-
with it from what they're saying, which I buy. Okay, maybe there's something wrong with it, but it was fine with Comcast. Now all
Okay,
of a
but I
sudden
do
it's
have
not
to
fine.
tell you, I had that problem, and when we went into the wall, same contractor we both had. My splitter box, if a splitter box is supposed to like face that way, this is how they explained it to me, it was facing this way. So in other words, the in was going in, the out.
Oh, when the out was going in.
Oh, they hooked it up wrong.
Okay, but the point is, same contractor.
No, but I don't have any splitter boxes. It's not,
Oh, I
it's a
thought I
single
didn't
cable
either.
that
Do
goes
you
to
know
one
how they
place.
found out that I had a splitter box? Because the Comcast couldn't figure it out. Nobody was figuring
You
it out.
have two TVs?
No,
That's
the
what
guy,
I
the
have.
guy from
You don't have a
Optitel
splitter?
noticed that
No, when
black
it first
cable
comes in, I have a
touching
splitter,
my TV
but it's
and
right
my
there.
TV.
Oh, it's coming in,
It's
right, yeah.
behind the
So
wall.
he said,
Yeah.
there's one. And so we
Once
did,
that's
before
past
we
that
recorded,
splitter,
we
it's-
couldn't find it, so I
Right.
said, just rip it up and break the wall, so we smashed my wall.
Oh,
There it was. So Robert,
All right, so we got, no, it's all stuff that can be figured out. So whether you couldn't do it yourself, then we'll have to step in.
Not in the gym, that TV's not working.
We know, we were just talking about that just before.
they forgot to put the box in there.
Can I mention
I emailed
something? They came in, they set up my equipment, and then it just it wasn't working. The internet wasn't working properly.
everybody.
So the guy that did the presentation here, he was sitting out in the truck. I went out there, knocked on his
Oh, that
window,
was you.
and then he came up to the apartment. And boy, he changed things on the TV, changed things on my computer, and now everything's perfect. So I guess what I'm saying is,
Like Comcast technicians, like optical television,
Yeah.
it's guys that know what they're doing, and
Yes.
guys that don't.
yes, that's what I'm.
It's a
that's
little,
my point.
it's a better than
Ray,
Comcast,
I
but you
think
can have
that
the
is a
same
fact
issue with
because
technicians.
the guy that came and found that issue with my thing being reversed, he found it, the one before from Optitel.
What was his
didn't.
name?
He's the tall Jamaican guy that is.
I know the guy you're talking about
The
because
guy
he
that
thought
sent me to the building. What's his name?
you was
Oh, I
me.
can tell you his name.
Oh,
and I almost committed suicide. with that.
Romeo, or what's his other name? His name is Romeo, and then he has another name, tall Jamaican guy.
Was he the guy sitting here that first time we were at the
Yeah.
meeting? Okay.
He
Oh,
actually, he found it. He, I mean,
So, I mean, I think we can send something out to the owners to say, if you're having an issue, you call about it, because they do have to document it. If it does not get resolved, then you gotta call the office, and we'll just step in.
But what you
Because
do
after
when
one
they say
call-
your cable's bad, but it worked fine for Comcast.
Yeah,
I don't wanna hear about that, because we don't know what they're, that's a problem.
But you see, that's
Yes.
the point.
So, but, well, what I'm saying is your thing solved? No, because you're still not getting an HD.
Well, I don't even have it in the bedroom, it has the Huawei, and
All
I have
right,
a single
so we-
line going right to the TV.
We have deeper issues.
Oh, yeah, no, I agree.
So,
just
let's
to-
settle it.
Guys,
Or at the beginning of it, we'd like to get a.
Just to let you know what they say also,
What's that?
well, you know, the C apartment, the bedroom, my bedroom, I have perfect internet. If I go to my living room, I lose internet 4 or 5 times. a
Well,
day.
first of all, you have Wi-Fi, so you're losing the signal.
And we adjourned the meeting.
Never lost my Comcast
No,
again.
you just, we're gonna end the meeting.
Okay, let's.
Yeah, I'm not
Sure.
sure.
Have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Well, there's two things you get out of the router.
Yeah, agreed, bye.
Alright, thanks, guys.
Walter,
Yes, sir.
you know those things that you
You have
put
to get
under
an extender
rugs to keep
or
them
repeater.
from sliding?
You know what he did?
Yes, I'm putting those in. This one, and that one, you said?
He
Yeah,
put
I
my private router.
I almost fell today, I saw it the other day.
I had my own router,
Right.
I put my own router.
And work better.
I'm putting
Worked
them,
better,
actually,
but I
I'm
still
gonna change
lose it
that
4
one.
or 5 times a day.
I'm gonna change that one.
Because it's too far away.
It's just, it's the rubber on it, it's not the rug, it's.
I know. So you need a repeater.
You know what he told me? There's 2 types of,
I'm gonna move the one that I have.
2G and 5G.
yeah.
2G is a tiny bit slower, but it has longer distance. 5G is faster, but a little bit less distance.
Well, he told me to change from 2G to 5G.
No, it would be the other way around.
5G is faster, but
But
it's
the
not on the
point,
wall.
but the point I'm bringing out, you know, you shouldn't have to change. That's freaking ridiculous.
But you might not have even had the 5G. Have you?
No, yeah.
Well, the easy scenario is you get a repeater, and it takes your router signal and extends it.
But shouldn't they pay for that?
No, because they're just saying Wi-Fi. If you have a wall, you have a wall. I understand maybe Comcast, I don't know why, my router with them is, their Wi-Fi is stronger than my Comcast one. Because I sit on my balcony and I would lose signal, but this I don't.
Did you have faster speeds with Comcast?
I have to look.
You might have had more speed, and so it was getting diluted, but it still came out okay.
Yeah.
These guys, you might wanna try moving the router, I mean, that.
Yeah, why does it have to say that? Yeah,
You know,
just
like
move it a
make it
little
higher
closer.
up or something, I don't know where it is, but if you put it up higher, on maybe on a shelf or
It
something.
could be from a shelf here, and you put it here, and you're like, all right, now I don't
Sometimes
lose
What
signal.
he did with my router is he
That's
took
for
it
that
from
wireless.
inside the cabinet, and he put it outside the cabinet.
Okay.
Well, that may help, but it might be better if you can move it.
I'll tell you what, what's her 12C? She had an issue where she would lose the signal we were trying to say, why are you losing signal? But we found out it's because her iPad was losing signal when she went to the other room and it kept forgetting her password. Whatever, they fixed it somehow. I assume they moved the router closer.
Now it's
I
easy on
assume.
every channel.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you hotwire it. And you
yeah,
know what I
well,
mean?
they have
I've
those
had
those
that
routers
question
now,
a
that
couple
have
of
the.
times, like, I know my golf
Station,
channel
or
one,
whatever, where you get like 2 or 3 of them.
Can't watch
two
it.
different routers.
I thought it was just that, I switched to
Yeah,
like,
I have a good
say
router, but
Bravo.
now they have a different system where they, you know, they call it.
HBO, same thing.
It doesn't, because the problem with repeaters is, you know, it'll start at 70 or whatever and end up at 30 by the time you get to the repeater. You lose a lot with repeaters.
I never tried one,
But you-
because I always just
They have
hotwire it.
something else now that's called net wireless or something where they have like little nodes in each room. And it does, it's similar to repeater, but it doesn't
That's what I
lose
was
all the
just telling
signal.
him, my,
You have to
water
buy it.
box.
Yeah, I can find out, but there are.
That's fine. I mean, if anyone's having
You have to buy a whole
might
new
as well
set of routers,
troubleshoot 'em.
it's $200 or $300
Big
bucks. you know.
box is not the most up-to-date box.
All right, signing off.
It's up to